Are most of the things created through jamming together, or does somebody come in sometimes? Does Adam say, hey, I have this cool riff, what do you think of this? Or...
Yeah, Adam and Justin are both really prolific, like riff machines, you know, and then they'll come in with things to play on it, and then we just jam them, like beat them to death, try to take them and draw them and quarter every direction and look for the jewels that pop out. Like we always record while we're doing that. Then we just listen back on the way home after practice and find the cool things, and then come in the next day and go, well, this was a bit I thought was great, and this will fit with this, you know. And some of them start with drum beats too, you know, like I'll just groove and then the guys play to it, you know, like especially like an obvious one was Enema. I mean, that was all a drum jam pretty much, you know, yeah, some of those things. But yeah, it comes from different places, but then it's all very connected in the end, just from the jams that we do. It's all the building blocks come from that. You know.
When you guys are getting ready to tour and you haven't played together in a while, how do you guys decide what the set's going to be?
We pretty much let Maynard decide the set list. I mean, we obviously, if you know, we're playing a lot of the Fear Inoculum stuff now. Just whatever the current record is going to take precedence. But when it comes to the older songs, you know, it's kind of what Maynard's voice can handle.
Sure.
Like, you know, he's no spring chicken either, you know, man. It's a lot harder when your instrument is your body, you know. And so I feel like I can still play pretty much anything I always played, you know, maybe not with quite the vim and vigor, but I can play anything, and I'm not suffering that much, you know. But doing it 3 nights in a row is another story, you know, for Maynard. And so he gets to pick kind of a lot of the older ones, you know, and kind of has to do with like what's going on socially in the world and everything, you know, where we think the fans want to hear and what seems relevant and what doesn't. So just from the subject matter and whatnot. But yeah, we usually let Maynard do the set list for the most part, you know.
Is there anything that's really tiring to play?
Any individual tune I'm okay with. God, when we started this last run though, I think he had like Rosetta and The Grudge and Numa. God, there was like 3 or 4 songs right in a row. I was just like, fuck, this is brutal, man. I had to seriously like breathe, and it wasn't until we were out for like a week or 2 that I felt like I could handle that, you know. I think it was 4 initially. There's brutal songs in a row, and I got him to move 1 because I go, this is.
I mean, physically, it's so much energy expended, right?
Yeah,
You're trying to kind of project the.
I think the overall set was better too when we split some of those up too, because it's, you know, just an onslaught. You know, people can get numb. You know, you give them a little break, a little breathing room for their ears. You know, and it worked out okay though. But yeah, the physical part is a consideration for me at the beginning of the tour for sure. But once we're in ship shape, I'm usually okay. You know.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
I asked Maynard this question, but what is the mixing process as far as how do you guys reach a consensus on when a song is done, Danny?
That's the hardest part, man, that's for sure. That's when we've come closest to breaking up and are ready to kill my bandmates and whatnot. You know, it's hard, but when we mix, we usually let Joe Barisi or whoever it's been, David Bottrell, whatever, we go have at it. It's all tracked. Everything's perfect. You do what you think it is, and it's usually a beautiful starting point. And then we pick and choose little things. You know, for me, it's just I want to be in control of like the fireworks. So if there's a cool fill, you want to push this here, you know, and then the groove parts, I'm okay with everything being settled and pretty much even. But you know, just to keep it exciting to the listener, you know, it's a hard thing. So if Adam or Justin want to crank their bass or the guitar way loud, that it can kind of steal away the dynamics. Sure. Because these are just droning instruments. So it's always a battle, you know, because I always want the drums louder, you know, like especially on my cool fills, you know. I saw that thing, I don't know if it was on YouTube or something, with Stewart like yelling at Sting, oh, this is going to get me on the cover of Modern.
Right. And
I
Sting's
thought that
like,
was
yeah.
genius. That was me so much. I've felt that way so many times.
I think Sting said something. Yeah, you played 9 beats and 8, you know, and 8/8 notes or something like that.
Beautiful, yeah.
And where's the ultimate test? Car or stereo at home that you listen to on? What do you?
Both. Like I try to listen to them on everything. I bring them here. This is my comfort zone. I'll listen to them and hear how those old Tannoys, and then my car, whatever I'm driving now, like my Panamera has a really good system in it. Like that's what I did the whole last record on, just because we were mixing over at Joe's in Pasadena. So every night I had the ride home, you know, like plenty of time to evaluate. And but then I have a stereo at my house that, you know, that I ended up. You want your reference point just to be something that won't lie to you. That's for sure. You know that.
Yeah.
Producing and stuff. But after we did the last few records at Bob Ludwig's place up at Gateway, I actually bought those giant Eggleston Works speakers. I have a pair of those at my house, so it gives me the power to like override the other guys. Sometimes I have the system that won't lie to us.
Did Bob master all your records?
He didn't do Undertow. We had Howie Weinberg did that, and then but everyone after that was Bob. Yeah. He just retired, man. I'm just like so bummed, man. I'm gonna miss that guy.
My God,
he's a genius, man.
He was on every record for the last, you know, every big record last, I don't know,
Man,
60 years or something.
Yeah, the golden ears, man. I was just the flabbergasted that last time we went up there. Like I think there's a piano in his lobby or something. It was literally just covered with Grammys. I don't know how many there were.
Oh my God.
It was just insane. But well deserved, man. I mean, one time when I think it was 10,000 Days, I guess it was, we brought a mix in, and Barisi and I were sitting there listening to it with Bob, and he was like, God, this tracks so well. You did a great job. And he's like, too bad there was a floor tom lug bolt loose. Me and Barisi just looked at me and said, what the, you gotta be kidding me. And he heard that, man. I was like, that guy, he's the real deal, man. I couldn't believe he heard this. He actually EQ'd it up where then I could hear it, you know. It's pretty amazing that somebody has ears like that. You know?
I'm curious, like if you're at Joe's working on the record when he was mixing the last record, if you're sitting there, do you kind of think, yeah, I think it sounds good, but I really need to take it out of here?
Oh, yeah. I think
Does
that's real
everybody say
common.
that?
Yeah, especially if you're not happy with your things and the other 3 guys are or something, you know, man, that's when you go, well, I don't know, but I try to get some kind of level of consistency. That's the reason I bought these speakers right here, you know, the ATCs.
Yeah.
That's what Joe had, and that's what we were working on there. So I was like, man, I'm getting a pair of these so I can kind of have a reference point that's not, you know, light years away from what he's listening to.